accusation. They're throwing around the word treason.
I hate to say this, but President Barack Obama, there is now incontrovertible evidence that he was the spearhead of a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people and overthrow the United States government back in 2016.
They're saying that Obama knew that Russia did not meddle in the election, did not have any impact in the election.
We must, absolutely must, hold every one of these criminals accountable for the crimes that they committed. They are the most heinous crimes committed in American history.
But yet promoted this idea.
James Comey, John Brennan, Clapper, Rice, Biden was in the meeting. They briefed Barack Obama on Hillary Clinton's plan to, quote, tie Trump to Russia collusion lies. It consumed our national discourse for 5 years.
And then there's been some incredible clips of all these different news reporters, CNN and MSNBC, just saying over and over and over again, clear evidence of Russian collusion.
Things got intense when Joe Rogan exposed some of Barack Obama's turbulent past. The comedian turned podcast powerhouse shared details that Obama allegedly knew but had brushed off as trivial. Following those revelations, J.D. Vance faced a torrent of harsh criticism ranging from relentless takedowns to full-on roasting. Hold tight, this ride won't be gentle. We're witnessing the peak of political turbulence. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more raw, unfiltered content like this before things get even wilder.
You know now, do you wish you had a third term? You know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine with that.
We know he wasn't really running the country.
Yeah.
We used to think he was actually running the country, and now they're like, no, he didn't even see those executive orders. That was all auto.
It goes beyond simply opening your eyes. It's very soothing. Yes, it could initially sound conspiratorial, but take a step back and identify the connections. Obama has made no secret of his intention to seek a third term. If only he could use a puppet or a political stand-in to accomplish it. When Biden wins the presidency, the whispers start to spread. The judgments were not really being made by the person in the Oval Office. Rather, America was being led carelessly by invisible hands behind the curtain. The puzzle pieces fit together a bit too nicely because of that and Obama's own comments. Is it really possible that all of this is a coincidence? Or are we witnessing the template for a shadow presidency?
I don't believe, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, whether you agree with Donald Trump or disagree with him, I don't believe in hectoring voters. I believe in persuading voters. Your support is not something I'm given or something I'm owed. It's something you got to go out there and work for. So one, I just don't like the tone of going in. I mean, look, the better question for Barack Obama or anybody to ask is not why black men. It's not how dare you not vote for Kamala Harris.
Vance did more than just expose Obama's alleged misconduct. He challenged the carefully crafted image of the former president. He boldly asked why Obama was encouraging black Americans to back Clay Harris solely because of her skin color. That's not leadership, it's virtue worn as a disguise. For a leader celebrated for progress and unity, reducing politics to identity was both shocking and disheartening. Vance's response was immediate and precise. Democrats felt the impact at the polls as voters saw through the facade. Vance's framing was flawless. The cracks appear when symbolism replaces real substance, and those gaps in leadership brought real consequences. I've never witnessed anything quite like it.
No. He gets a glass of Flint tap water, and I swear to God, he drinks it like this. Watch this.
Can I get some water? I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
Usually when something isn't a stunt, you have to say
it's
that.
100% a stunt. When was the last time a president stopped a speech to ask, can I get a glass of water? They would never do that. They would have water ready.
Rogan also revealed the artifice behind Obama's polished image, exposing his carefully constructed facade. Take a typical moment. During a speech, Obama might casually ask for a glass of water, seemingly a spontaneous, relatable gesture, but Rogan showed the reality. It was rehearsed, a staged moment with staff ready in the wings, like a perfectly timed scene in a play. What audiences saw as authenticity was actually orchestrated performance. Millions of Americans mistook charisma for genuine spontaneity, swept up in the illusion. Rogan presented a compelling case. Even the most natural moments were calculated, and yet despite being deceived, people applauded and celebrated the showmanship.
People age the hardest. I think Obama was probably like a very idealistic young man
Oh, Lord, what's going on now? Who's hollering? I can't even see it.
who really wanted to change the world. And that dude aged more than anybody.
I mean, I'm getting old, so I can't hear that well. I can't see that good.
Who aged the least? Trump. Trump just
This is something that
he just brushed that shit off his shoulders like it was nothing.
We knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, quite smart, and you have to be able to hit.
Rogan didn't hold back as he dissected Obama's supposed legacy, peeling back the layers of the facade. He acknowledged that Obama may have sincerely wanted to lead and strengthen America, but once he bowed to pressure from his party's most radical elements, that vision crumbled. Instead of pursuing his own goals, Obama succumbed to the DNC's woke agenda, which favored ideology over progress and symbolism over solutions. Rogan's critique was blunt. Obama traded individuality for conformity, transforming from a potentially transformative leader into a puppet of political correctness.
Backstabbing that's going on.
That's a very disrespectful attack on the American people who deserve the truth. They deserve to have faith and trust in the integrity of our democratic republic, which has been undermined by President Obama through his direction of this manufactured fake intelligence document, knowing that it was filled with lies.
Like when she got into office, you realize like you're not really in control of everything because there's another person who's in control of each individual department, and they'll stop whatever you're trying to do every step of the way. They get in the way of everything.
Rogan took aim at Obama, asserting that he was fully aware of the scheme linking President Trump to Russia, but chose to stay silent. According to Rogan, that silence wasn't neutral, it actively enabled the plot. By remaining quiet, Obama gave space for conspirators, including Hillary Clinton and key DNC figures, to carry out one of the most meticulously orchestrated smear campaigns in modern political history. Trump's ties to Russia were scrutinized relentlessly for more than 5 years, but the scandal ultimately served as a distraction. Meanwhile, pressing issues were pushed aside. The economy, border security, crumbling infrastructure, and even national safety took a backseat to the political theater. Rogan's point is clear: the charade went too far, leaving the American public let down by both Obama and Trump.
During this Kamala Harris administration, it changed my opinion of that guy.
I don't understand how we got so toxic, so divided, and so bitter.
He said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that.
Did you have a high opinion of him
Yeah,
before?
I did just as an intelligent person, a statesman. He's probably like caught up in the system. It's very difficult to make real meaningful change. You think you're going to do something and then you get into office and you're like, oh God, what a quagmire this place is. But watching him just straight up lie.
When Obama left office, his public profile skyrocketed, drawing widespread attention. By presidential standards, his net worth had been relatively modest, just a few $1 million, but less than 10 years later, that figure has climbed into the tens of millions, raising questions about how it happened. The official explanation is simple: lucrative book deals and speaking engagements. He landed a multi-million-dollar memoir contract and commands hefty fees for lectures, yet even with those numbers, the math doesn't fully add up. This isn't just a small increase in wealth, it's rapid accumulation on a scale that spans generations. It seems unusual that someone who once presented himself as a humble community organizer could amass such staggering riches. Critics argue that this highlights the close link between political influence and financial gain, with public service often serving as a launchpad for personal fortune.
Because things are actually happening. Very different than most of the time when people get elected.
And I will shut down the Federal Department of Education, and we will move everything back to the state.
Most of the time when people get elected, they claim all these things when they're running for president. Then they get into office and not much changes.
Individualize education and do it with the love for their children.
And in fact, a lot of what they campaigned on, they don't practice at all. Great example is the Obama administration. The Hope and Change website had to be changed because there was a bunch of stuff in there about whistleblowers.
No, I don't think Mr. Snowden was a patriot. I called for a thorough review of our surveillance operations before Mr. Snowden made these leaks. My preference would have been for a lawful, orderly examination.
By influencing the mainstream media to push misleading narratives about Donald Trump, Obama achieved a similar goal. The story became deeply woven into American culture. Trump was portrayed as a threat to minorities, a white nationalist, and a bigot. Night after night, journalists and commentators repeated it as if it were fact, but the irony runs deeper. While the media focused on painting Trump as the villain, Obama frequently used race to advance his own political agenda. He leveraged identity politics, reminding people of their heritage and skin tone to make his points. Yet this was celebrated as meaningful, even inspiring. The media overlooked the double standard, too busy defending their golden boy to challenge his tactics. They applauded when Obama used race strategically while branding Trump's every misstep as hate. This wasn't simply news, it was propaganda disguised as reporting.
And it's disgusting. It's a disgusting lie. Let's play it.
Said that there were very fine people on both sides of a white supremacist rally.
You also had people that were very fine people on both sides. I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists.
See, that's crazy. I have never seen that last part of it
because the news has said that lie over and over and over in conversations with Tulsi Gabbard about what it was like.
It's a disservice to the American people that former President Obama's office and others who are criticizing the transparency that is being delivered by releasing these documents. They are doing a disservice to the American people and trying to deflect away from their culpability in what is a historic scandal.
She's a person, tries to be friends with everybody, tries to reach across the aisle. She's got that whole aloha spirit.
The answer to that statement can very clearly be found throughout all of the documents that we have released, showing that Russia has took action to try to sow discord in the election, but showed no preference for or against.
It's hard to ignore Obama's role in efforts to undermine Trump, yet surprisingly, many still place unwavering faith in him. Some even entertain the idea of amending the Constitution to allow a third term, as if his presidency represented a golden age to be relived. But history tells a different story. Obama's record is clear. Despite promises of change, his administration left a political system dominated by identity politics, deeper polarization, and a declining global image. Replacing him wouldn't fix these issues. It would only repackage the same failures with polished speeches and carefully crafted rhetoric. The reality is that Obama was more appealing than effective. While he charmed the public, many of his commitments went unfulfilled. He bowed to the pressures of the party's radical wing, allowing the so-called woke machine to guide policy rather than pursuing meaningful progress. He let the Trump-Russia narrative spiral unchecked, enabling one of the most meticulously planned smear campaigns in recent history. Identity politics became a tool wielded strategically to shape public perception, while the media celebrated it as visionary leadership. Meanwhile, the American public was misled, and genuine issues were sidelined. Even his post-presidential wealth raises questions. From modest beginnings, he amassed tens of millions in less than a decade, largely attributed to book deals and speaking engagements, yet critics argue the rapid accumulation points to the intertwining of political influence and financial gain. Despite the allure of a potential third term, the truth is obvious: a return to office wouldn't bring redemption. It would only recreate the same patterns of disappointment. The speeches would still inspire, the media would still praise, but substance would remain lacking. Obama's legacy, stripped of rehearsed lines, applause, and image, reveals a presidency that was far more likable than it was transformative. America cannot afford to be let down again by a return to the same unfulfilled promises.